All right, I'm back. All right, so let's resume where we left off. And if you haven't seen part one of this, don't be an asshole. Go back and watch it. Okay? Don't do this to me. All right, I need you to be. I need to be on the same page. We need to be on the same page. Um, because I don't want to have to repeat shit I already said in the first part. So that's how it is. But anyway, so we're talking about the resignation of Peter John Slawley, the Leo, a guy who was born August 5th, 1966, on a year that would have been a 22 year, right? What most of this shit is about the vaccine mandates, right? And people are fed up with the shit that started when 2020. That's like 22, right? So his year of birth resonates with that year in just that way, even though 22 is a master number, and 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 would have been 4. Uh, but you still have that same kind of thing happening. And um, the thing that I find interesting also about that date of birth is it's the eighth month, but then his life path number is 8, so you got both of those, and I feel like that would make it harder to do that energy of that 8. Maybe not, but I feel like that might be the case. And here we have him on the 15th day. We said the 15th tarot card was the devil. We said that card, it's got people who have chains on their neck that are large enough for them to just remove those chains at will. Uh, so, I was, at first I was thinking that, you know, th- this guy probably like, oh, he quit because he got a conscience or whatever. But then when like I read more of the article, it seems like as I said in the previous video, first of all, he said he's stepping down with a heavy heart. Heart sort of relates to the Leo. Leo rules the heart, and I think the spine, if I'm not mistaken, or the upper back or some shit. So actually, let me type in that because I recently found that actually the word heart has the same numerical value as the word fist. And the word fist has the same numerical value as the word hand. And I'm laughing because I'm seeing the number 18 there. Fist equals 18, hand equals 18, and I'll get to why that's funny. But 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 even heart and fist seems to resonate with this. This is all because of the fact that it's a 24. Um, Okay, I don't know if I'm describing this correctly. It's already too ADD and bouncing all over the place. Okay, here's the thing. Let me rewind a bit. Okay, so basically, at first I thought this guy was stepping down from his own volition, but then when I asked my pendulum, like you saw in the last video, it seems like he was forced to step down. And when you look at the article from CTV, it seems like he would have squashed the protest anyway if he could have. Uh, but yeah, he's trying to avoid bloodshed and stuff. But even when he's saying here, um, uh, about like bloodshed, like seriously, like it says here in the article, in the midst of the crisis, as the trucker convoy was refusing to budge, slowly took people around him, or slowly, his name is Slowly, told people around him that he was trying to avoid bloodshed like the January 6th storming of the U.S. Capitol in Washington. I mean, and that doesn't even, I mean, there's a lot to be said about that, comparison. And there's a lot to be said about what actually happened on that January 6th day anyway. And I'm not even going to go into that right now. I'm going to tell you that it seems like there was a little bit of savior complex to the tone of how he was talking about this whole thing. Even though I believe his heart was probably in the right place about it, when he said with a heavy heart, you know, whatever. But when he says, since the onset of this demonstration, I have done everything possible to keep this city safe and put an end to this unprecedented and unforeseeable crisis. I read that and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Unprecedented and unforeseeable crisis. Yeah, what's unprecedented is the bullshit we all had to live under for 2 years based on false science. That's what's unprecedented. And don't get it twisted. I'm not saying there's no virus or whatever the fuck. You all know what the fuck I'm saying. The whole world knows what the fuck I'm saying. That's why the whole world is emulating this shit, and they have like other protests elsewhere. But is that a crisis? To have people stand up for their rights? That's the fucking crisis? You fucking kidding me? People sitting around in bouncy castles and in a fucking a little outdoor pool thing. Like, come on, man. Let's be real. And yeah, okay. I saw somewhere on Twitter there was supposedly something around the border, like somewhere else, that where maybe some truck was, you know, arrested with some, and they found something in it. I don't know. I'm not even going to comment on this because look. If there was, I have not had time to look into it, but if there was some sort of bad apples, that don't let that stain the aspirations of the entire country here. Nobody likes this shit. Okay, and even nobody likes these new rules and all these regulations and people fucking playing God with your fucking life. Nobody likes that. And even Quebec has pulled back on a lot of their shit now. So, you know, stop painting this like it's a crisis to have people stand up for their rights. It's not a crisis. I went there on the 1st. Okay, a lot of things happened since that time and whatever, but the vibe that I got, and from watching live feeds of this on the internet from people on the ground, is that it was like a Canada Day celebration times a million, or like just nonstop. So, and it's like another person said he's never seen so many Canadian flags like ever in one spot and whatever. So that's happening. Is that a crisis? I don't think so. But anyway, I mean, I'll ask my pendulum again just to make sure, just so you guys can see what I put in the last video again if you refuse to go watch the last video, and just for my own, so actually before I ask this, I'm just going to ask, are there any negative, according to my higher self, are there any negative entities or negative hold on. According to my higher self, are there any negative entities or negative spirits inside my room right now? Left is yes, right is no. According to my higher self, are there any negative entities or negative spirits inside my room right now? Left is yes, right is no. Alright. So now I'll ask you something I know the answer to, which will make it go the other way. So do I have hair on my head right now? Left is yes, right is no. According to my higher self. And that's to prove that, so there are no negative entities or spirits influencing this shit right now. So, according to my higher self, was Peter John Slawley's resignation something that happened from his own choice, or was he forced to resign? His own choice is left, forced to resign is right. Alright, so it's swinging right. So, I'll try it even on the third length, the shortest length. According to my higher self, did Peter John Slawley quit from his own volition? Or I don't know if the word is volition, but did Peter John Slawley quit from his own choice, or was he forced to quit? His own choice is left, forced to quit is right. According to my higher self, did Peter John Slawley quit from his own volition, or was he forced to quit? Did Peter John Slawley quit from his own choice, or was he forced to quit? Alright. So yeah, you know, and I got a no on that one again. Let me just do it one more time. According to my higher self, did Peter Slawley, his name yet? Peter Slawley quit from his own choice, or was he forced to quit? His own choice is left, forced to quit is right. Did Peter John Slawley quit from his own choice, or was he forced to quit? According to my higher self. Alright, that's pointing to forced to quit. Do I have hair on my head right now? Left is yes, right is no, and then it goes to that one. Yeah. So yeah. You know, and here's the thing, like, it's a shame because I feel like a lot of the police were on the side of the protesters. You know, that's just, and that's why I'm wondering, you know, going forward, when the sun goes into Pisces, will that mean more arrests? Like, let me ask that again. Because Pisces is connected to the 12th house, and 12th house can mean anywhere that's hidden, which is hospitals and jails. So let's see if the according to my higher self, is Slawley leaving gonna generally mean more arrests? Left is yes, right is no. That's a yes. You know, so that's the kind of thing you want to watch out for with Jupiter and Pisces, is to have too much hope. You know, Pisces is illusions. So yeah. Yeah, and I might touch on that more from my notes and whatnot, but okay, hold on a sec. Okay, and here's the other thing I wanted to ask actually too, because you know, Pisces is the last sign, but it's also, you know, some people connect that hanged man to some other sign, but for me, since Pisces rules the feet, and the hanged man being the 12th tarot card, and it being a person hanging by one foot, and a person in a sort of victim situation, like he can't get out of it or whatever, and you know, and that Pisces being the 12th house, so to me it just connects it to Pisces. So and like I said in the last video, Jupiter used to rule Pisces, so Jupiter entering Pisces is like a huge dose of that. Jupiter is expansion and, you know, wisdom and hope and optimism and stuff like that. And you know, Pisces is like really intuitive and imagination, and but the thing is, they can be victim complex. So I was going to mention something that was already in the other video, but anyway. Alright, so what else is there here that I want to get to now? And again, so this thing, when I saw here that he wrote, when he wrote Slawley, what is it? It was, yeah, after he mentioned the thing about the January 6th storming of the U.S. Capitol in the article, It wrote that he firmly believed it was a success, that there was no major violence, and that if it escalated, the situation could cost police officers and protesters their lives. Slowly has spent the last week asking for reinforcements, saying last Monday he needed 1,800 more police personnel to end the protest. So that's why I found it interesting that it was 1,800, because everything about this whole thing seems to have the number 18 or the 9, which emanates from that 18, stamped on it. Right? So it's either got 18 stamped on it or 9 stamped on it in terms of synchronicities and life path numbers and numerical values of words and things like that. And it's all in the brain database on my website. But essentially, that 18, according to the Chaldean numerology, it partly means materialism striving to destroy the spiritual aspect of nature. And there is a Capricorn stellium at the end of January, as I mentioned. You know, Trudeau is a Capricorn, so it's kind of like when you got a stellium, it's hard to do that shit, and you got like maybe potentially too much of that shit, and that shit is, in this case, Trudeau, so we had enough of him, but also Capricorn is Earth, so there's a potential to have too much materialism, because not only because of everything that happened since 2020, but particularly now because of that North Node Taurus. Taurus is an Earth sign. So you got that Capricorn stellium Earth plus Taurus Earth. Now things are mixing up a little bit more. Now we have, like things can get a bit too dry when there's nothing but like air and earth. Right now we got some fire, which is welcome because like the Leo moon, it's in the moon's in Leo, but that the moon changes every 2 seconds anyway. So when the sun moves into Pisces season, like I said, that could mean more victim complex bullshit and more people going to jails, but it could also mean more compassion and more emotional element to your life. So all this overload that we recently had of Earth energy, and that Taurus North Node is like a thing for like another, 17 months or whatever. It's an 18-month long thing that started January 18th, but yeah, it's what was I saying about this? It was about the materialism, right? So when you have too much Earth, it can be too materialistic. We had this number 18. He's asking for 1,800 more police personnel to end the protest before he resigned or whatever. And so the 18th tarot card is the moon, which very much matches, the Chaldean definition of that number. And it's also about treachery, I think, that number. So let me click the Life Path 9 section of my database here. Let me just take a sip of this. I'm losing my voice. Oh, and right after I said that, it went from the 18th minute to the 19th. You have to love that shit. You have to. I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, you might not know what I'm talking about, but it went from the 18th minute to the 19th minute right after that point there. Anyway, so I gotta go a little faster here because there is that 53-minute limit on this device for some reason. Alright, so to give just a bit of context about this 18 situation. So I'll just read the whole Chaldean definition of this number. It'll just really drive it home because it's pretty spot on. The Chaldean numerology definition of the number 18. This number has a difficult symbolism to translate. It is pictured as a rayed moon from which drops of blood are falling. A wolf and a hungry dog are seen below, catching the falling drops of blood in their open mouths. While still lower, a crab is seen hastening to join them. It is symbolic of materialism striving to destroy the spiritual side of the nature. It generally associates a person with bitter quarrels, even family ones, also with war, social upheavals, revolutions, and in some cases it indicates making money and position through wars or by wars. It is, however, a warning of treachery, deception by others, also a danger from the elements such as storms, danger from water, fires, and explosions. When this compound number appears and working out dates in advance, such a date should be taken with a great amount of care, caution, and circumspection. Okay, so when the World Health Organization announced the declaration of the so-called pandemic, that was March 11th, 2020, which would have made it a life path 18 or 9, because 1 plus 8 is 9. Then right after that, you had 18 months, is what we were told. You know, you had articles like federal government needs 18-month plan for life to return to normal. Dr. Zek Emmanuel, that was April 8th, 2020. So, or unless they had that backwards, I'm curious now. Let me double check this. No, April 8th, 2020. Yeah. So yeah, that was the thing. We all heard about that. We all heard that number floating around a lot at that time. Now also, there's this guy Nikola Stojanovic, his degree theory, and he's saying the 18th degree is a Virgo degree, and of course 1 plus 8 is 9, and we know that people connect the Hermit card, the 9th tarot card, to Virgo as well. But he's saying, or this article from Astrology.com is saying the 18th degree is a Virgo degree, but it plays out differently than the 6th, which is also a Virgo one. 18th degree can indicate a bad fortune or severe health issues. And the 22nd degree is a Capricorn degree, and different than the 10th, which is also a Capricorn degree. The 22nd can indicate that a native's loved one passes or passed away, and the native carries grief for such a long time. The worst case scenario, it could indicate to kill or be killed. So they're saying the 18th and the 22nd degrees occurred during worldly events. One of my research results is a repeating pattern in the chart of events that shakes the whole world. Not only do people have astrological charts, but events as well. This repeating pattern is that when something happens which affects millions of people, at least 2 planets are in either the 18th or 22nd degree. According to Nicola's theory, the 18th degree is an evil degree, while the 22nd can be deadly. These repeating patterns show up in the charts of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bomb and Chernobyl explosions and 9/11 terrorist attacks and the Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami in 2004. Look, there is so many instances I have seen that this really deserves another video or two about how this 18 ties into all this shit. But like even the word new normal equals 99, just like the word ghosting equals 99, and what's 9 plus 9 is 18. And what is the new normal if not a ghosting of everybody? If you're all staying at home and you're all it's the same shit. It's because we're entering age of Aquarius. That's what it is. It's just you have an option to do the positive version of Aquarius or the negative version. But regardless, it is the ending of a cycle, and that is what the 9 represents. It's the end of a cycle. Now, we're going into Aquarius, so you got to be able to do the Aquarius shit, which means to do the Aquarius shit, you got to do the opposite of Aquarius, which is Leo, and maybe that's why, if if people are materialistic, they could have, you know, like kicked this guy out. And it might have had something to do, subconsciously at least, about his Leo energies. You know, I mean, I don't know for sure. You know, and this is why I said the disclaimer at the start of part 1 of this video of, like, you know, what I'm saying here is just my opinion, and, you know, I could be wrong. So whatever you guys take from this, you know, it's karmically on you. Or whatever you do going forward is karmically on you, at least insofar as, you know, the readings I'm doing here or my interpretation of astrology, blah, blah, blah. But I asked the pendulum, or I asked my higher self via the pendulum, whether there would be more arrests now that this guy is gone, and I got a yes. So, you know, then I'm just left wondering, because of all the stuff I mentioned in part 1 of this video, and all these alignments, that maybe it has something to do with the transition from Age of Aquarius, from Age of Pisces to Aquarius being difficult. It's a difficult transition. And I lost my train of thought there, but it's got, this transition is the end of a cycle, and we see this number 9 stuff everywhere. Okay, even this Diane Deans, when she assumed office, that would have been a life path 9. Right? She assumed office according to the Wikipedia. It said that she assumed office on the 12th month. There you go, 12th month. I didn't even notice that one before. I should have highlighted that. But 12th month, first day, 1994, which would have made it a life path 9 from when she assumed office. So just like this astrologer is looking at events in terms of astrology, I'm looking at events in people's lives in terms of numerology. And I hope to God I'm not the only person doing it. But look, just as a side note, again, with this stuff about the word heart, as I mentioned in the last video, the word, well, actually, I just noticed this other thing now. The heart is the same letters as Earth, also. So Earth signs, what I just mentioned about an overload of Earth, you know, maybe that could have had something to do with where this guy's heart was, and it maybe, I don't know the guy, all right? I don't know anything about his life and shit, but from the tone of the thing, of the article, it seemed like he would have stopped the protest completely, and just, like, if he could have, like, you know, it didn't seem like he was understanding where I was coming from, like, that's, and where any of the people that I knew that attended these protests were coming from. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. What interests me is you know, all this, like when we talk about the word Capricorn, also we said there was a Capricorn stellium, but when we talk about Capricorn, that name matches the word heart health and rose quartz and depression. Okay, so that underscores that heart matching Earth as well. Capricorn is the last Earth sign. And 8 is connected to Saturn, and the 8th tarot card, some people, you know, connected to Leo, because he's got a lion on there. And it's about strength. It's called strength. There's some, I gotta bite my tongue just so I don't lose my my train of thought, because there's so many different things that I want to say about all this, and I constantly have to reduce it. It's pretty frustrating, but that's fine. The main message here is there is a huge element of the heart needed as we transition into Age of Aquarius, because otherwise you're going to be like an elitist motherfucker who is smarty pants and who is only strictly going by logic, you know. Aquarius is about the group. On the negative version, that could mean communism and, you know, like social credit system and you know, universal basic income and crap like that. So on the positive end is people coming together, you know, like these truckers, I think, and like the way that different funding platforms pop up. And now on the Monday, apparently, our Prime Minister, he invoked the War Measure, not the War Measures Act, but someone said it had its roots in that. I think Laura Matsu might have said it had its roots in that, but the Emergencies Act. Okay, so that is happening now. We're Wednesday the 16th right now at 7:10 a.m. as I record this. Alright, so now I'm about to lose my train of thought again. I need to hit this. I'm not going to deny how integral this is to this presentation. So, alright, let's get back on track here. So yeah, like these give, send, go things. Like even though, like I think in the statement that Trudeau gave after around the time he was putting this, talking about this Emergencies Act going into to play or whatever. Yeah, I had heard around that same day that now they want, if I'm not mistaken, the government might want, you know, crowdfunding things to go through them now first or some shit like that. Are you joking? Like, there's gonna be, the fact that this is even a question, like, just points to the fact that there will be more innovation and that there will be something that'll work its way around that. Okay, it's like playing the whack-a-mole thing. You hit us here, and some other thing will come over there. It's not gonna, it's not gonna do shit. I don't like, you know, like you make YouTube censorship, like, you know, whatever. Like me, like I'm on YouTube. I got my most important videos backed up. If you take me down, whatever. I avoided putting stuff on this channel for the longest time. Even the video I released on the 12th, you guys heard me say that it hit me up on Instagram, whatever. That's because I thought I was going to be able to post a video to Instagram. Then when I recorded it, tried to upload it, it's like, no, you can only put 15 minutes. So I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway, so the point is, now I'm like, whatever. Like, if YouTube wants to take me down, then whatever. But you know, let it happen sooner than later, because I got all my shit backed up that I need, and I got my brain database, and that's backed up, and that's really all I really need. You can take down even my whole WordPress website, and I wouldn't care. You can take down, and that. There's a lot of work that went into that, but not nearly as much work as what's in my brain database. So anyway, the point is, I don't want to make this all about me here. It's a Leo moon. I don't want to be all narcissistic about this. I was born on a Leo moon right now, so you guys are all getting a taste right now of what it feels like to be me. Not just with that Leo moon, but with the North Node Taurus and the South Node Scorpio also. So I don't know, man. Anyway, so let's see here. What else did I want to cover? Alright, so I started off saying some shit, though, about him, about Slolly and, that he had a heavy heart. He had a heavy heart. Okay, so we covered the 18 connection there, right? Did I want to say anything? No, I don't know. I did mention that when Diane Deans assumed office, that resonates with the 18 because that was a life path 9. Yeah, I'll leave some of the rests here. Although here's one thing I found today, and this is exciting too. It's well, I don't know if exciting is the right word, but like to find that another person who is a life path 9 is Marvin Lee Minsky, and to find that he was born August 9th. So not only is he a life path 9, but he was born August 9th, and he's a Leo. Okay? So here's the thing. This is what I'm talking about. Like, misuse of Aquarius energies due to misuse of Leo energies. Who donated to Marvin Lee Minsky? Who supported him? Apparently Jeffrey Epstein, the Sixth Foundation. Okay? And, Epstein, his name has the same gematria numerical value as Ghislaine Maxwell, who he was with, and she's a life path 9. Okay? You got Bill Gates is a life path 4. Just like even, and it doesn't, it's not as clear cut as like a number equals a good thing or a bad thing. There's a positive and negative manifestation of each number. Okay, so but I find it interesting that not only is Bill Gates a life path 4, not only is his Event 201 a life path 4, but even Randy Hillier, who was one of the first outspoken politicians against these measures, he assumed office on a date that would have made it a life path 4. And Donald Trump is a life path 4. I don't know if I mentioned that. So yeah, you got a lot of interesting alignments here, and for example, like hold on. Okay, I'm getting a big off track here, but let me see if I can rewind. So essentially, yeah, we got onto Marvin Lee Minsky, and he's like a big name in artificial intelligence, and this is what we're talking about. Like, if you want to maintain that Leo heart-centered shit, if you're gonna not get, taken over in a way by the machines you're using and shit like that, right? Like, even me using my brain database, I have to limit my use of that. Even me going on here and talking to you guys, I gotta do that in a balanced way once I've, and I know it doesn't seem that balanced with this drink and whatever, but, it is what it is. But you get what I'm trying to say. Like, what I'm trying to say is Marvin Lee Minsky is a Leo, just like, and he is a life path 9, just like the World Health Organization declaration of the pandemic being a life path 9 date. And just like Diane Deans, the city councilor who is saying GoFundMe should be sued. She I don't know what life path she is, but when she assumed office as a life path 9. And not only that, but even you find even one of the other amid, you had Pierre Marcel Poilievre amid the Freedom Convoy. He seemed to get more popular, and he is life path 8, but just like Slolly, but and just like Timothy Leary, by the way. And of course, the word psychedelics equals 56, just like the word coronavirus equals 56, and 5 plus 6 is 11, and that's the 11th house, which is tied to Aquarius. So all this fits. But because Timothy Leary is tied to the psychedelics that way. So anyway, Pierre Marcel Poilievre, his numerical value for his name is 9. And he assumed office on November 9th. So I don't want to make this too ADD and off track here, already 40 minutes, but you know, this is what's happening. And I'm not looking for this. Like I said, the license plate of the goddamn vehicle that mowed down 4 protesters around February 5th, that license plate was HHJ769 according to that picture. And that in the cipher that takes into account capital letters, that has a gematria numerical value of 9. Via 126. 1 plus 2 plus 6 is 9. That's the same situation with Pierre Marcel Poilievre. His name in the cipher that does not take into account capital letters yields a value of 126. Same exact number. Okay? It's not just that it reduces to 9, it's the same number. And I'm not, don't get it twisted, okay? I'm not saying this is, because I know what the gematria community is like based on at least running into people that were into gematria on the POF streaming app that I go on. And let me tell you, a lot of them are dicks. A lot of them have this warped view of how things happen, and they don't like to emphasize organic synchronicities or even explore that as a possibility. They'll just say anything, any coincidence that happened is like orchestrated, someone else chose it to be like that. I say no. If you look at my wide body of work that's already public on that brain database, just check the anaretic degree section, just check the 29 section, just put 29 in the goddamn search box of that brain, and you'll see. And there's no way someone could walk away from that thinking that it's, oh, you know, this was anything other than organic synchronicities. Anyway, the point is, okay, I don't want to lose some of you here. Got about, 10 minutes till this video runs out again. Goddamn. All right, let's see what we got here. Right, so the life path 8 being the guy who quit, the police chief who supposedly quit, him being a Leo, that being tied to the strength card, which is the 8th card, him being a life path 8, just like Pierre Marcel Poilievre, the guy who very well, in my opinion, he I don't even know, I don't follow Canadian politics that much, but just from seeing like a 3-minute clip of him speaking out against, you know, Trudeau, I almost felt like he was filling a vacuum. And that we can explore that word vacuum too, but let's not. let's fucking not. Okay? Not in this video. Alright, so let's check out. Let's give some context to this. So we mentioned I think we went through the stuff about when the life path number of when Peter John Slawley assumed office. At least I hope that was this video and it wasn't a previous one or some shit that I might have done a first one and then that one got screwed up from the pause or whatever. Anyway, look. So I'm going to assume that I already covered when he assumed office and how that's a life path 5 and how that is the same as the life path of Anthony Fauci and Regina E. Dugan. See, this guy, by the way, this guy just October 28th, 2019 is when he took office. So that was 2019. That was recently. So he's already had like 2 years and crime went up in the last 2 years and shit. So to me, it's like it's not like, it's like he's already seasoned just because of that, in a way. It's like, it felt like, if you just started 2 years ago, that you're not planning on quitting now. Why would you do that? But yeah, who knows what happened. But, I know these are hard times and whatnot. There's lots of fear, evidently, about where this could go. Fear of the bouncy castles and and again, if there are some bad apples, don't let them ruin the obvious thirst for freedom and aspirations that most Canadians and most freedom-loving people around the world are obviously displaying. All right? All right, then. Okay, so let's see here. He was in office until the 15th day, and just to recap that shit, 15th tarot card is the devil. It's about attachments, agreements, being disconnected from your spirit, but having the ability to detach from unhealthy or addictive or manipulative situations or relationships at will. Right? And the 1 + 5 from that 15 gives you a 6. And so sort of doing that devil thing, that devil card, dealing with the problems that devil card poses, the lessons that card poses, entails sometimes having to do that 6 properly, that 6th card, which is the lovers, which is balancing inner masculine and feminine. And his resignation happened amid a number 6 year. That's 2022. 2 + 0 + 2 + 2 is 6. So with the Chaldean numerology, 6 is connected to Venus, and we mentioned that this whole thing happened when Venus went direct. This whole trucker convoy was supposed to arrive at, there's going to have to be a part 3 to this video. I didn't know I had this much to say, but there's going to have to be a part 3 to this video. There's no way around that. Alright. Well, let me see if I can resume what I was just saying. What was I saying? Okay, so yeah, before we end, because we still got a few minutes before it cuts me off. So it's relevant that this guy finished the office at that 15th of February. At least that's according to the Wikipedia, and that's what we that's when we heard of his resignation. So that makes sense. But so that 6th tarot card, the lovers, is balancing inner masculine and feminine. And that sense of balance is what Venus is all about. We said number 6 is connected to Venus. Venus rules Taurus and Libra. And why am I pointing out that Venus went direct then? Well, that's why. Because this whole number 6 year seems to be almost confirmed by the fact that right at the start of it, Venus is done going retrograde, and like just after a month, and then the coast is clear. As I may have mentioned in a previous video, the coast is not clear for Mars. Mars, November, December, is going to be retrograde, if I remember correctly. Let me double check. Where is that? Yes, I'm correct. Okay, so the point is, right now, there is Mars conjunct Venus, and that is happening today. Okay. Let me just scroll down to my notes for that part. Yeah, Mars conjunct Venus, 9:28, in about 2 hours from when I'm recording this exactly. So probably by the time you guys see this video, it'll be past that. But like I said, it's not really past it, because most of, if you look at the graphic ephemeris charts for this, it's Venus and Mars are pretty much in Capricorn, really close to each other for all of February. So, you know, so I think this is a big wake-up call. The fact that this happened on the 15th, or that we heard about it on the 15th, that for us would mean, like, pay attention to your spirit. Like, the Devil card is about being detached from your spirit, and if everything that emanates from this Corona bullshit, from 20, from the declaration of the world, from the World Health Organization's declaration of the pandemic, that being a number 9 year, from a number 18, that means it's materialism. Them stating that on that date is almost like causing materialism for who knows how long. And again, so that's an attribute of the 18 a little bit, but also definitely an attribute of the Devil card, the 15. And so 1 + 5 is 6, like we said, and so you have to balance your inner masculine and feminine and choose your heart over your head in some cases, or at least make some difficult decisions. Maybe power structure didn't think that Peter John Slawley was you know, making the right decisions, because I don't think he quit. I think you know, but also yeah, I think I'm gonna, we're gonna have to do a part 2, but I'll wrap this up saying that again, when he took office, this Peter Slawley, that was on a number 12 year, and right now we got Jupiter in Pisces, and also the Sun is about to enter Pisces in like 2 days. So and yeah, so tune into part 3 for more. I'll be back. And I guess I'll take this opportunity also to remind you guys what I said at the start, which is that I am available for tarot readings and astrology readings for $80 an hour Canadian, and that would be equivalent to $70 an hour American. Again, that's astrology readings and natal, or astrology natal readings and tarot readings. So send me a message on here, or find my Instagram, or find the contact form on my website, potentnews.com, and we can set that up. And you doing that will help me put out more videos like this as well. So again, that's Amir Alwani from potentnews.com, and I'll say hopefully more about this in the next video. Stay tuned.